Hello everyone, it's Matt Munson here again for Matt Munson Adventures. In this video, I find myself back in Akihabara in Tokyo. This being my last full day in Japan during this 2-month stay. Every day was an adventure. Every day was magical. And I decided on this day to squeeze in a couple things. And in this video, I'm documenting my trip to Super Potato, which is hidden down a little side street off of the main drag in Akihabara. This was recommended to me by my friend Vincent, who is a huge video game enthusiast. I am a casual video game player, and in fact, I would say, or perhaps confess, that the bulk of my gaming was done much earlier in my life. I do recommend checking out Super Potato. It is 3 stories of retro video game everything. It was a little staggering, if not overwhelming, in the sheer variety of game systems, games, merch, figures, keychains, dolls, toys. I had no idea, and I'm sure Super Potato only scratches the surface of how much video game stuff has been manufactured over the years. I can't say for certain how thorough or complete the collections were of all the different games for all the different platforms, but it was mind-blowing how much there was. I had no idea there were so many different consoles. I had no idea that those little handheld LCD games had so many different games. And even then, they probably weren't thoroughly represented here. The first 2 floors are all games, platforms, what do you call them, consoles, and merch associated with them. And the 3rd floor was like an arcade and cafe and merch store where you could get your Super Potato branded merch. It was really fun. There's sort of nothing I've ever seen like this. Of all the shops I went to during my time in Tokyo, I never saw one dedicated to retro gaming. The store is also kind of really indicative of how Tokyo stores tend to be, in that they're all in high rises, or in this case, this is a low rise. But you don't see like a giant store with one big flat sales floor. It's all multiple levels. If you watch my video on Bic Camera, that's a real great example. Like it's not a store like Super Potato, where it's sort of like yard sale style. Bic Camera is a very modern contemporary store filled with up-to-date, new goods. But it's all small floors, 7 of them. So I guess I would say Super Potato gives you a good taste of what shopping in Japan, and particularly Tokyo, can be like. I really wasn't sure how to document it. I've seen some short videos that zoom in on particular consoles Here's all the Nintendo Entertainment System games they have. Or here's all the LCD handhelds they have. But if you're familiar with my brand of storytelling, you know that I kind of like to be a completist. I want to get the whole thing. I want to give a flavor for what the entire experience is like. However, when I went into Super Potato, I abandoned that very quickly because there's just so much. It's so dense and rich with merchandise. I think for me, it was just so eye-opening. I mean, I knew video games were a thing. I believe I just saw the other day that the video game industry earns more money than the movie industry. Amazing. I knew that. I just didn't know the diversity of the games that have been offered over the years. Growing up with a couple Nintendo systems in the house, I would say we had very mainstream games. We also only had games that came to America. Turns out there are games that never even make it to America's shores. They're only available in other countries. So yeah, it was really eye-opening. The cafe on the 3rd floor was loud and obnoxious, and people were very enthusiastically playing the games. And I think it really just speaks to how the video game culture is just at a different pace than it is in America right now. When I was younger, I feel like that was when arcades really had their heyday. It's when Tron came out, cashing in on the whole arcade hype. And I feel like part of that is still alive and well in Tokyo. Anyway, that about wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed my trip to Super Potato. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you for the next one.